and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of October 17th. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, well, first of all, we come to you on Tuesday. And this week, we are here on Wednesday to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. And when Dancing with the Stars gives us 4 hours worth of,
for goodness sake,
of dancing spread over 2 nights, we have to delay our recording schedule.
Just one of the many
for
reasons
you.
We are annoyed with Dancing with the Stars this week.
Yes.
Not even the biggest one.
So we had on Monday night, it was Most Memorable Year, a Dancing with the Stars classic theme.
This was a particularly anemic collection of Most Memorable Years, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, there really was not that much crying, from me or them.
Yeah,
so.
And I think maybe I think when they've done it in the past, there have been fewer people. I think they wait till a little later in the season. Because this was like you got 3 sentences with your partner, and then, bam, it's time to dance.
Right,
They didn't get to milk it even a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just as well because it was like, 2 or 3 people said when they had their kids, and Jordan said it was when
couple when they met their husband
and
or partner, I guess.
A couple said this year, and
we had Shangela recovering from having a very badly broken leg.
Right.
Trevor. He almost gave up acting and then he got a job, but I could have sworn he said the year was like 2009, but then the job he was referring to was on Beverly Hills 90210.
90210. They did a new version of it, an update.
Oh, so maybe that was like...
It wasn't the original.
Okay.
So
God.
I looked him up. Yeah.
That confused me, but not enough to look it up. And... Daniels was when they started shooting Coda, which of course makes sense.
Gave him a career. Or it certainly gave him an opportunity to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. And same for Vinny being on Jersey Shore was his most memorable year, which, I can see that.
Not a lot of trauma.
Rumbas for dead relatives.
No. So... When we got to, we knew that Selma was going to be the last one to go because she had the most compelling story, we thought. Right. And then I feel like she looked over this weak-ass bunch of Most Memorable Years with a insufficient crying and trauma, and she said, "Hold my beer."
Right.
And it turns out that it focused less on her most memorable year than on the fact that given her MS and some consultation with her doctors, she had to remove herself from the competition.
Yes.
And there ensued a heartfelt and well-deserved, but really rather prolonged farewell.
Yes.
She did her dance. She got all 10s. And then they all said what they thought was special about her or something, or it was just went on and on, and they...
Well, I mean, they were filling all that time that they usually
for an elimination.
Drag out for an elimination.
It's like, if I were somebody else who got eliminated from this show and didn't get a personal tribute from everybody...
Every single judge and host and fellow competitor.
Right. And then the next day they sort of did more, like how brokenhearted they were. And it's like, well, yeah. I mean, like I said, well-deserved and emotional and the sort of thing we go to this show for. But at the same time, if I were Cheryl Ladd, I'd be going, what was I, chopped liver?
Yeah.
Oh, well. So, sadly... Selma was no longer there for the next of these 2 episodes, which honestly, how would she have done that dance marathon?
Yeah.
Maybe that was part of her decision. Like 2 days in a row of dances plus ending in this thing. I'm out. but it also freed Sasha up to just sort of loiter in the background of a great many shots. Looking like a guy whose girl has stood him up and he's just, okay.
Yes.
Poor Sasha. I felt bad for him because I kind of thought she might win. And he must have kind of thought that too.
Yeah.
Rough year, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Yeah, when he said at one point when he was talking about Selma, he said something like, I lost someone close to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, did someone die, or is he talking about Emma?
Yeah, I've heard other people wondering about that. I think somebody died in his family.
Okay.
I would hope that he wouldn't, they're being very circumspect about it.
Right.
And that would be a little too serious
you don't want to
show.
You don't want to say like, "Oh, I hope it's that somebody died." Like that doesn't.
Really
that's
sort of
not
do.
Quite what I mean.
Yeah. I think that would just be too sad for him to mention his personal
impending
misfortune
divorce
in that thing when his wife is very smiley all over the place.
Right. And still in the competition. Even though her partner, wow. No, thank you. Not interested.
Well, before we get to the outrage of who is still in and who is out,
yes.
Do we have anything to say about any of these individual dances from Most Memorable Year, or were they just not that memorable? Now, there was no rumba for a dead relative, but there was a foxtrot for the COVID dead, so that kind of counts, right?
That is true.
Yes.
That I did not realize that Gabby was an ICU nurse during the pandemic.
Even when she's telling really kind of an inspiring story, I can't stand her.
Yeah.
Something about her just grates. Oh my goodness. I just can't with her.
Yeah.
Really, the entire top of the leaderboard towards the end, except for Wayne, I have no use for any of these people. So when I saw the leaderboard at the end of the second night, I was like, oh crap, somebody I like is going home. But that was the second night. Let's first
try to finish up with the...
So I had expected that I might get emotional over Daniel's contemporary to both sides because that got me in all the feels in the movie. But the combination of it being a typically bad version of the song...
It was really not a good version of the song. Oh my gosh.
And lifts are hard, y'all. Lifts are difficult. On this show, amongst the stars, I note some can do it smoothly, not that many. Others look like they're lifting a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
And Daniel, God bless him, I hope he goes far, but he looked like he was lifting a sack of potatoes. He's like, okay, I got a lifter now. Woof.
Here we go. Okay.
It's like, no offense, man, because you're not alone in this.
Right.
But I always remember, were you watching it when Alex Scarlatos was on?
Yes.
Dancing with Lindsay. He did lifts great. He didn't just do all that much dancing, but man, could he lift. He picked her up like she was a piece of paper. And so I always salute him for that because other folks...
Not easy.
It's not easy. So I didn't feel emotional about that song and about that number, but the judges seemed to quite like it. And the interpreter got on stage and he got a costume that kind of matched theirs and everything.
Yeah,
so
he was really, they worked him into the dance. That was kind of cool. And worked in some ASL into the dance.
Yes.
So
the judges liked it. And now Charlie did a dance about her anxiety.
Correct.
Her terrible anxiety over social media, the thing on which she makes her fame, the reason why she is here. Did they interview Heidi for that at all? Do you remember? I don't remember Heidi saying anything like, "Oh, my poor child, how terrible it is. We have built an entire empire on a thing that gives us anxiety." Or even just, like, motherly concern of some sort. They showed a clip from the show of her crying.
Right.
But
Yeah, I don't think
right
they...
there.
Right.
Bring her in and say, comfort your daughter. So either it's completely manufactured or Heidi's a monster. Or they didn't want
or
to
the producers are... Yeah.
I don't know. I get such bad vibes from those two.
So would you like to move on to the second night, speaking of?
That dance with Charlie and Mark looked like a So You Think You Can dance.
Yeah, sure.
That's exactly what they would do. A dance with anxiety. I think they may have done it, actually. I think I may have seen it there.
Yeah.
It's just, she's both too good and completely without personality. So the judges do call her sometimes on the fact that she needs to, look like she's not
feelings,
thinking about what she's going to do later while she's dancing. Little energy, babe. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, let me just see if I have any notes here that are worth sharing. Yeah, a lot of, stuff that was fine. I liked Joseph's. I think Jessie lost me. I had been voting for her a little bit, but if that country song was her country song, it was awful. So
yeah, it was her own song.
And I did make a note that they did seem to be the judges seemed to be padding Trevor, and that continued into the second night, I think.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to be in the bottom two again for whatever reason that is.
Right.
I also wondered, after Selma gives this whole thing about how her body is breaking down under all this pressure, they still made her climb up the stairs and then down the stairs. Seriously? Right. You couldn't do your interviewing downstairs?
Tyra's like, take your time. Okay, how about maybe don't make her do it at all?
Stop it. Oh my goodness.
And then they all lifted her up in the air, and she looked like, please put me down. This is not a good idea.
It's making me very uncomfortable.
Yes.
I remember there was one season when, who is the singer? Darn it. It's just got Gavin DeGraw, I think, was on it. And Melissa Gilbert was on it. And Melissa Gilbert, I think, fell and hurt her ankle or something. And he just swept her up in his arms and walked her up the stairs. Oh. And that was so sweet. And I'm like, will nobody pick up Selma and bring her up the stairs? She weighs about 10 pounds. Seriously, guys, I think you can handle it.
Some one of you guys could do it. Right. Trevor?
Probably half the women could do it as well. Come on.
Yes. Trevor in the dance marathon, I don't think Emma's feet were ever on the floor. I mean, he had her lifted up the entire time. Yes,
and he looked like he was a man with a mission, like, God darn it, I'm going to lift her up for this entire time. I don't care what it takes. I don't know. That dance marathon.
We skipped ahead to the dance marathon.
Yeah, we're skipping over the prom. Prom is I think that was a silly theme. And, I guess seeing people's pictures is kind of fun, but also sometimes kind of creepy. Gabby's a little creepy. Heidi's a little creepy. Gabby is really happy with herself. She likes herself very much.
Well, she goes on The Bachelor and she gets a fiance, and now she's on Dancing with the Stars and she's
getting good scores.
So I think she feels like I got a handle on how to do this reality TV thing.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. Oddly, I find myself liking Vinny very much. If you had given when I looked at the list of people
Right.
And if I had sorted them in order of who I thought I would like the best and the worst, he would have been at the bottom of the list. Really? A Jersey Shore guy? Oh, come on.
Right.
I never watched that show. And at least for this, he seems adorable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his dancing is not as terrible as the judges would have you believe.
Right.
Because he must be bringing in unbelievable amounts of votes that they were not able to torpedo him in some way or another.
Mm-hmm. Which is a little surprising to me because it's been a while since that show was on.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems like for him and the rest of the cast of that show, like, they've been just expanding on that presence for the rest of their, career. So
you wouldn't think there would still be a robust fandom.
Yeah,
I mean, Bobby Bones could go on the radio every Tuesday, every week and say, "Hey, vote for me tonight." I don't know where they're getting their contacts with fans, but apparently they are.
Yeah,
or at least they've given a large bribe to whoever counts the votes.
Because, as we've said, his partner is brand new.
Yes,
she doesn't have a fan
gave
base.
A little zing to her on prom night. Like, he's something about the dance, and then he said to Vinny, "That's not your fault." It's like, ouch.
Yeah.
She's new. I mean, if you want to make a dig at the choreography of some of the people who've been doing this for a while, that seems legit.
Mm-hmm.
But
somebody decided that she was ready.
Yes.
So, let's give her a chance.
Somebody decided that they didn't want Vinny to do very well, so let's give somebody who hasn't done it before. Oh, dear.
Yeah. So explain, because I missed the beginning, so explain the deal with prom night. It was, here's a picture of them at their prom, and here's a story about their prom, and now we're going to do a dance.
Our stars telling their stories, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Memorable year and prom night, because of course, as we all know, everybody went to the prom and it was very memorable. Mm-hmm. But now, Gabby's dance. What did you think of Gabby's dance?
I didn't think it was anything special.
I thought it was bad. I mean, I thought she looked really stiff. She's always getting high scores. And I did highlight the fact that she has very long legs in that slitted dress. And that was interesting to see. But she just didn't seem to be doing the steps smoothly or anything. I thought it was bad. And then the judges just went into paroxysms of joy about it. And I'm like, number one, we didn't see the same dance. Number two, they know more about dance than I do. Well, that is definitely true. Mm-hmm. Number three, certain people are going to be passed on and certain people are not. And they're not real subtle about it.
It sure feels like
it really does. And the marathon that they did at the end, there were no criteria given for why they were going to tap somebody out.
Right.
No criterion at all. So it's hard not to assume it's just, okay, we have the judges' scores, we have the votes. Now, how many points does each person need to get everybody where we want them to be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe that's not the case, but they sure didn't do anything to dissuade us from it.
Right.
No transparency at all in how those decisions were made. Now, I was surprised that Jessie wound up last because I assumed it was going to be one of the favored 4 or 5.
Like when Charlie went out, I was like,
that's surprising. I figured, well, this is just going to whittle it down to their pets. But so that also makes me think that they wanted to arrange it so that they got the bottom 2 they wanted. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for me to talk about any of this stuff now because I am so ticked at the way it ended, because I have really loved watching Joseph. I thought he's been adorable. He's been a very good sport. He's done everything he's been asked to do. He's done it cheerfully. He had a thing with his partner out for 2 weeks, and he did great with this replacement. He's really looking, I think, in his dances like he's leading, that he's not just being yanked around by his pro. I think I have really enjoyed watching him, and I am ticked that I'm not going to be able to anymore. And that it's because the bottom two was Heidi and Joseph, and as soon as you get that bottom two, you know Joseph's going home because there's no way they're going to get rid of Heidi. They've been giving her inflated scores, and there's the synergy with mother-daughter, and I don't like it. I don't like it that way.
Yeah, I was very disappointed too.
I was very disappointed, and I really feel like he went home too soon, and that it's not good for the show that he went home too soon. Mm-hmm. Now, probably it would have been better for Vinny to go home. I've been voting for Daniel, Vinny, and Joseph. Mm-hmm. Of those three, probably Joseph is the one I least wanted to go home. So, my feeling now is I am going to pour all my votes to Vinny. I want to burn this place down.
I love it.
I'm going to get every phone in my house. I'm going to vote for Vinny.
And only Vinny.
Daniel, I'm sorry, man. You're doing good. I'm proud of you, but you're not going to win this thing. But Vinny
So
could.
You need to. Vinny could with Terry Morrow's help.
With my evil machinations behind the scenes. I just don't think Daniel has like a robust enough fan base. Mm-hmm. And Vinny must have, if he's been hanging on, because they are giving him like the equivalent of an anchor around the neck in terms of scoring.
Yeah, they really are.
So something's keeping him afloat. And I intend to help because this is what you deserve, Dancing with the Stars, when you were so freaking obvious about patting some people and dissing others who are trying hard and having a good time and giving good entertainment.
Right.
You deserve to have the guy from Jersey Shore win your stupid show.
Excellent.
Yes. It's sad that you missed the first part of the prom episode. You should, the other thing you should...
I will go back and watch it.
You should go back and watch it, and you should particularly notice how in the far-off shots, the dress Tyra is wearing at the beginning is quite something. And in the far-off shots, she looks like a giant Muppet. Which would actually be a whole lot more entertaining. Could they get a giant Muppet? What's Telly up to these days?
Anytime they put her next to Alfonso, I mean, she is a good foot taller.
It would be ridiculous even if she was wearing normal clothes, but she's wearing like gowns that make her twice as big.
Right.
And then he just looks like the cutest little doll they have propped up next to her. This show. I really like the Disney Plus thing. I think the Disney Plus thing is great. I think it solved a lot of problems. And you have a lot more time to do things that used to get rushed. Like, you know, if somebody gets eliminated, they at least get to say a few words. But this group of contestants.
Yeah.
And
my mom is visiting me, and she used to watch Dancing with the Stars when it was on ABC, but she doesn't have Disney Plus. And so I said, well, we're going to be watching Dancing with the Stars. And she said, well, who's on it? And I'm like,
did you know?
Yeah, did you see Coda? Do you know who Wayne Brady is? No and no. And that was the extent of anybody I could think that she would possibly have heard of.
She wasn't a big Jersey Shore person?
She was not a Jersey Shore or RuPaul's Drag Race or Bachelor. Yeah, none of these.
Man. Or the D'Amelio Show.
Yeah, the D'Amelio Show.
She's not on TikTok there checking out Charlie's dance moves?
No, afraid not. So I had to tell her who every single person was.
Oh, man. They could be a little more subtle about it, I think. Nah, that's not their style. It's just when they could just do great job. Here's your high score. But they have to go on and on about, oh my gosh, in all my years in dance, I've never seen anything as spectacular as that. It's like, we know you're lying. Stop it.
Right. Well, and, Monday night, Joseph had the best rumba they have ever seen.
Yes.
From a man. Mm-hmm. And Tuesday night, goodbye, Joseph.
Yes, I know. It's just so unfair. For somebody who would not have necessarily been expected to do as good as he did. He was doing great, and I like Daniela, and I would like her to be around longer, but oh well. Such is the show.
That's
right. And now we can actively hate watch. No, we still like Daniel, we still like Wayne.
And Vinny.
I still like Vinny. the three women at the top of the leaderboard are ticking me off.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby and Heidi particularly. I just I may need to do more fast forwarding than I have been doing.
Right.
But anyway, everybody, if you're ticked off the way things are going, Vinny.
Stick with us.
Vinny. It will put this show off the air, if nothing else. It will be a bullet taken out of its misery.
Excellent.
Seriously, I'm doing it.
On Rutherford Falls, we watched a very timely episode entitled Halloween.
This makes us look so organized, doesn't it?
Yes.
I feel like we planned this on
if
purpose.
It were like 2 weeks from now, it would be even more so.
That's
but,
true.
all TV shows that are holiday themed, it's just the entire month that holiday falls.
And this was released like months and months ago at a time when that was not at all near Halloween. So why they felt, you know what we need? You know what this show needs? We need a Halloween episode.
Well, like you said about the previous episode about the TV show, Adirondack, which was commenting on Yellowstone, this gave the opportunity to comment on costumes that are in poor taste and culturally appropriative.
Yes.
So maybe that's why they felt they wanted to do it. The main costumes in this episode, however, were a series of condiments.
It was pretty hilarious. And I don't know, like all the indigenous women fighting over this one guy, that didn't put the tribe in such a good light.
Yeah. It was a very sitcom plot of he thinks she's gonna get back with her ex. Mm-hmm. She thinks these other people are gonna steal her guy. We have seen that, on every sitcom since Three's Company.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
at least they resolved it in a mature and swift fashion.
They did. That was nice. Not before Regan got kicked in the face, but still, it happened. She seemed relatively intact after that.
You're right.
But
her fall was cushioned by the ice.
Yeah, but didn't she get kicked right in the face? I would think that would leave a mark.
Yes,
but
this is true.
It's a sitcom, and it was sweet. I would not have picked Nelson out as somebody who was going to be a chick magnet, but okay.
Well, if your other option is Wayne,
that's true.
Who is married? I guess is he married to Sally? I didn't realize that this whole time.
Don't know or really care, but I don't think that's been established. I think they're work spouses, maybe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that was sitcom-y, but with its own little spin, and the whole condiment thing was pretty cute. Mm-hmm. And
especially that Regan could actually dispense ketchup from her ketchup bottle costume.
To augment somebody's sandwich and to attack.
Right. You had many purposes.
Yes. So our little rom-com of the two of them, they they go together like hot dogs and ketchup. What do you want? Mm-hmm. And
unless you're living in Chicago, and then somebody's going to come after you if you try to mention putting ketchup on a hot dog.
Really? That's not allowed?
It's a whole thing there.
It's allowed in California and in
it's
New
only
Jersey.
In Chicago.
Only in Chicago? What is the preferred topping in Chicago? I'm digressing because there's really not that much to say about this episode of Rutherford Falls.
It's like a whole bunch of like relish and onions and like I think the idea is you put all this other stuff on, but ketchup you never ever
I see.
do.
So that would have been, that's what the other condiment girls there were hoping for. Forget that ketchup. You want all this other stuff. Ketchup is not good.
Right.
They were going for Chicago style. But, and then in rom-com number 2.
Yes. We had Nathan and Deirdre.
Yeah.
Nathan trying too hard.
Yes. And boy, was that making a crib Ron Swanson 2.0. They're really leaning in that direction with Nathan at this point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but maybe not for Nathan.
Right.
I don't know that well, I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah. Once again, who cares? Yeah, so he made a crib and some zucchini bread, and for whatever stupid reason, he just let himself into Deirdre's house with the spare key that she gave him for emergencies.
Why? But
yeah.
And also he made some charcuterie plates along the way, at least 2.
Well, yes, that was a separate incident from the crib. So,
but there was one before the one he brought for the parents.
Yeah, they didn't show him bringing that one. So then the one he brought was a refill for the first one.
He's a man of many talents.
Yeah. I mean, I like a charcuterie board.
I like zucchini bread. I'd rather have the zucchini bread personally.
I do not need a crib, though.
That's right.
I'm good there.
But if you did, a handmade one would be, I don't know, would it be up to safety requirements?
Well, that would be the question, yes. Is it?
A Ron Swanson crib I would trust. A Nathan Rutherford crib, I am not so sure. But, again, who cares? So, Deirdre...
We're never going to see this baby because the season is... there's only 2 more episodes left in the season.
It's really hard to get invested in these people. We're very sorry. They seem nice. But there was this whole sort of, all right, then plot about Deirdre's parents being over, and she had told them that Nathan had abandoned her, and that's why she was having the baby by herself, when in fact, sort of the opposite is true. She's the one who's not wanting to be with him, and she begs him to come in and be a loser so that her parents can hate him and not her. And, sitcom tomfoolery proceeds for a little while until finally the truth comes out.
Well, finally Deirdre can't take it anymore.
She finally feels bad for this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Her parents heard the podcast and were peppering him with accusations from the podcast.
Calling him popcorn guy.
Yeah, because he was in a popcorn costume from the Halloween party. Yeah, whatever.
Well, and that was in the podcast.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
He probably should have chosen a different Halloween costume. If he didn't want to be associated with
unless
corn.
he was leaning into it. But, so now she confesses everything to her parents, who are just perfectly cool with it. And she's making nice with Nathan out on the porch, but he's like, I sort of liked that thing he said, though, which is that you like me sometimes and I like you all the time, and that's just not going to work. And so he walks off into the Rutherford Falls evening, leaving her with something to think about.
Something to think about and some charcuterie.
Exactly. And will we ever see the resolution of this? Who knows?
Good question.
2 more episodes?
2 more episodes.
Yeah. the serving him an uncooked frozen dinner while they all ate a hot meal was a nice little piece of passive aggression on the part of her mother. But
right.
Well, maybe not so passive. But
yeah. Maybe just aggressive.
Yes. And then our third plot, rom-com number 3, I guess we could say, is the forbidden romance. Just like Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story. It's Feather's daughter and Terry's son illicitly trick-or-treating and doing politically correct graffiti on
vandalization
on the statue. So, okay, that was really. Why do they not all have trackers on their kids?
Well, yeah, and the best part of that whole plot was Bobby being able to figure out what they were doing at all times because of their Finsta.
Yes. He was able to figure out who the girl was that Terry's son was going around with, and then knowing exactly where they are. That was adorable.
Yes.
Very fun. Nice way to get Bobby in there. Slipped them right in.
Yeah, I think Terry's wife had a tracker, but the kid might have turned off his phone or something.
Ran out of battery, but Feather seemed like, oh, well, you know he's a derelict because you're tracking. But honey, everybody tracks their kids. My kids are 29 and 32 and I track them. I track my husband. Why don't you have that?
She definitely seemed like the kind of person who would track her kids.
She totally did. She would have a chip in that kid's arm.
Right.
So this was a perfectly serviceable sitcom episode. You could have plugged pretty much any sitcom cast of characters into those plots, and it would have worked just fine. There was a little bit of things that were true to the show. Mm-hmm. But basically, this was all sitcom 101.
Yeah.
And that's fine with me. I like sitcoms. I enjoy me a good sitcom. So, okay, didn't make me mad. There was no horror movie commercial right in the middle of it, so that was cool.
Oh, good. Good,
I think it was Jake from State Farm instead.
Okay. He's easy on the eyes, unlike the horror movie character.
There was no screaming in terror, so I was happy.
Even though the title of the episode was Halloween.
Really, they messed that up. Because I see if you kept it running till the next episode, there was a Halloween commercial coming up in between episodes. So I nipped that in the bud. But
quickly got out of there.
Let me ask you, last season of this show, or I should say in season 1, because last season implies that it was a long time ago and we just watched it. You felt that Nathan was a pretty unpleasant character. Mm-hmm. They have softened him up almost to a pudding in this one. Do you like him better? Is it working? Or is he still kind of like, oh, that guy?
Yeah, I think it's working. But like you said, it's going pretty far.
It's maybe they could just let him have a little bit of spine, but no, it's fine.
I mean, he did do the backbone thing of telling Deirdre that she can't just, kind of make, change her mind every day about how she feels about him.
That's true.
So.
That was a respectable thing to do. But, he acted like a jerk when she needed him to act like a jerk, even though he got a uncooked frozen dinner for his troubles. I don't know. It's like...
I don't know what he's... where is he living and how is he earning money? Because, his former house is now the cultural center for the time being until the new one gets built and opens. And, does he have employment of some kind?
That is a very good question.
To support his child.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not supposed to ask that question, I think. We're just supposed to be glad that we don't have to be mad at Ed Helms anymore.
Right.
But it's just sort of like, then who is this guy? And why is he here? Is it just, I don't know. 2 more episodes, you say?
I do say.
2 more episodes is fine. What is the next episode of this fine comedy that we shall partake of?
The next one is from season 2, episode 7. It is called Firefighter's Pancake Breakfast.
I like me a pancake breakfast. Are they?
I thought you would say that.
Yes. They're not sending us actual pancakes, though, are they? We just have.
No,
we're just going to watch other people eating pancakes.
Yes. You might need to prepare yourself some to eat while you're watching.
Yeah. We only have, as we discussed recently, we only have microwave pancakes and, toaster
Probably not
French
as good.
Toast. Yeah, not the
Probably
same.
not as good as what the firefighters make, but So, and yeah, that is the penultimate episode of this television program.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is going to be a big-time election one, because probably the firefighters' pancake breakfast is where local politicians politic.
Yes. And also, the final episode is titled...
Yeah?
Election.
Ah, well, there you go.
So, but yes, I agree that there's likely to be a lot of campaigning.
Right.
At the pancake breakfast.
Yes.
So.
Well, good luck to them all.
And good luck to our dancers. We'll continue with that.
Yes.
Dancing with the Stars on Monday. Just Monday. And that's going to be it for round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Goodbye, everyone.